Good morning guys, welcome back to the vlog. Sorry it's been so long since I did one. I will explain about that in this video. If you're new here, my name's Shona. I'm a rifle shooter for Team GB. And if you're not new here, then welcome back. It is Monday the 9th, I think, maybe the 8th of April, and I'm going to training. My dad took my air rifles to Pardini last week to get them serviced, and one of them, the older one, didn't shoot very well, so we've got a new one. So I'm off to do some air rifle training today. I think my dad's coming down, and I think Luce is at the range as well today, so it might be a bit of a full house. But yeah, so the reason my dad took my guns to Pardini, I'm sure if you follow me and follow my results, then you'll probably know this, but I have not been having the best of times since January. Cairo World Cup went well. Again, if you follow me, you'll know. Dean and I won the mixed air at the World Cup in Cairo, which I have to say was a great surprise to me, but dead happy and really proud of Dean for how he's progressing, both as a shooter and a person. We've been training together for 8 or 9 years now, so we've kind of grown as people together, I guess, over that time. So yeah, it's just really cool. And then the air rifle for me, I shot quite well. I shot 632, which I thought was really good and would almost certainly guarantee you a final. But I was 9th and didn't make it into the final, which was a great bummer to me because I felt like I'd shot quite well. My last string wasn't very good, and I'm working on that, but yeah, that was a bit of a bummer. And then 3P, I guess as you'll have seen in my last vlog, I was in South Africa doing solely 3P training before heading straight to Cairo from there. So my 3P was quite good. Actually, scratch that. My 3P qualification was quite good. My elimination was very, very hard. It was absolutely fucking freezing, excuse my French, on the elimination day. I was so cold. I thought I prepared fairly well, but I was so cold, and by the time the standing came around, I just could not stop shaking, and I guess the stress response kicked in, and I got so angry and frustrated. I couldn't stand still. I could not control my emotions to save myself. It was just so hard and so bad. I made it through elimination, obviously, but that was one of the tougher matches I've ever had to shoot. Next day, slightly better prepared, I pinched one of my teammates' water bottles, hot water bottle, so I used that. Actually, the day in general was just a bit warmer, a bit less windy. The wind wasn't coming straight in my face. That's one of the things I really struggle with, is when wind comes straight in and gets me in the eyes. I really struggle with that because my eyes dry out and stuff. So yeah, elimination wasn't great, but the qualification went really well. I think I topped qualification, but don't quote me on that because I can't actually remember. And then the final went very well. I thought at the time that I'd broken the world record, and then somebody told me seconds later that I was 0.3 off of the world record. So I was a little bit annoyed by that, as you might expect if you know me. But I shot really, really well. I put over 2 points on my own personal best, so you really can't complain with that. Yeah, and I won the 3P, so Cairo on the whole went very well. Everything after that has gone absolute garbage. Went to Denmark to shoot the Danish Open Air, which didn't go very well. Just wasn't feeling myself, I guess, sort of mentally and emotionally. I thought I was shooting okay, but I couldn't break 630. I think I shot 629 the first day, which is meh. For me at this point, it's alright. And then after that, I just like, I think I shot 6:27 and then 6:25. It just kept getting like progressively worse. I will say I won all the matches, or won all the finals, and people around me are like, oh my god, that's great, like, oh, you came away with 4 golds. And it is great, don't get me wrong, I don't want to be that person that's just sort of like, but I didn't perform well and I wasn't happy with my performances. So yeah, I don't think the competition itself went well. After that, we had Scottish air gun, which again I didn't shoot very well. I did win. Ruth and I were in the final, and it came down to a tie shoot on the last shot. But it was a really terrible score on my part. So I didn't shoot well again. And then we went to Dortmund, where I was the poster girl. More on that later. That's pretty cool. But yeah, my matches in Dortmund, again, absolutely atrocious. We'd switched guns by this point, switched air rifles, and shot the old air rifle just to see if it was the gun, because Dad had tested them, and they were like okay, but not amazing. So I shot the old air gun in Dortmund, and it was so bad. I shot 6:21 the first day, I think. I can't remember the last time I shot less than 6:25, put it that way. So yeah, that was a really bad day. And then the 3P, I know the targets are at a funny height, so I don't know if it was maybe that like I didn't do any training for the 3P when we got there. Like I didn't do like pre-event or anything like that, just because we were focusing on trying to fix the air rifle, and the 3P in training had been going absolutely great. The 3P was shit. Yeah, I had 585, which to me doesn't sound like that bad a score, but I didn't even get through elimination. So I had a really, really bad time in Dortmund. In terms of the shooting, actually the trip was quite nice. The day we arrived, we flew on the 14th, the 15th was my birthday. I am now 28, which is crazy to me. But yeah, it was my birthday, and my teammates, very, very lovely, got me some chocolate and some sweets and a card, which was really nice, and we had cake in the evening, which was lovely. And then on I can't remember which day it was, a few days later, on the 19th, it was Dean's birthday, so we did the same again. We got him some little bits and pieces and a card and some cake, and yeah, I just think it was like quite a nice, wholesome trip, I guess, aside from the shooting. But yeah, in general, like, I've not vlogged very much. I've not vlogged at all, really, since South Africa. I don't think I even filmed in Cairo, really. I think just since Christmas I've been really burnt out. I know I did Vlogmas, which was great, and I really enjoyed it, and I had all these like big plans from January. I'd done all my like goal setting and things like that, and I was really keen to like film videos for you guys and film something and try and put like something out at least once a week. But yeah, I think I was just super burnt out after Christmas time, and I just ran out of steam and ran out of energy. And to be honest, this is something I've been struggling with for quite a while now. Jeez, I've never seen this roundabout so bad. Where are you all coming from? There we go. Yeah, it's something I've been struggling with a lot over the last sort of 2 or 3 years, I guess. When I was an undergraduate, I used to, I did a full-time degree, and like quite a hard one, and full-time shooting. And I managed it absolutely fine. There were definitely like some stressful periods, but I managed it and I did it, and that was 5 years. And then I did an extra course, and then I did a master's degree, and then I did another master's degree. And I used to be able to balance all of this and do it like with reasonable success. And now I can't seem to do anything except shooting. I don't know if I'm doing more, except I actually feel like I'm doing less. So I'm very confused about it. And it's really frustrating me. I'm getting like quite annoyed at myself for not being able to do more. I have all these plans and like things that I want to get done and things I want to do, but I don't feel capable of doing them right now. So it took me a while, but this period since January has been like quite a lot of travelling, so I've only been at home for maybe like 10 days at a time, and then I go away again, and I'm just like not getting into enough of a routine at home to be productive or anything. I come home and I'm like, oh, I need to rest from this competition, I need to train for the next one, but also rest before the next competition, and it's just not enough time. So it did take me till sort of mid to late February, I think, maybe even March, before I was just like, right, okay, I'm giving up on all of the other things that I want to do until after the Olympics, and I'm just going to focus on that for just now. And it has helped. My mood certainly improved a bit. But yeah, like I just don't really understand why I can't do it when I used to be able to. I do have a lot of medical things going on, which is taking up a lot of time because I've got multiple appointments a week. And if I'm only at home for like 10 days at a time, I'm struggling to like find time, because I just have to throw the appointments in when I can get them. So some of them are in the morning and some of them are like noon, and it's really difficult to find a like reasonable training time around these appointments. But obviously like my health's more important, so the appointments really have to come first. But then yeah, I've not really like properly trained. I've kind of gone onto range and shot for a few hours, and then left again, maybe two or three times in between competitions, but it's not real training. So last week I went back to what I would call real training. I'm probably only going to get a couple of weeks of this. But yeah, I was in 4 days last week. The first day with Dad, and then he left to go to Italy. And then the last 3 days I was by myself. And it was like high volume. I was shooting 3P, obviously, because Dad had my air rifles. But it was like high volume. So I was there from like 9 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, possibly longer. And like, I used to be able to exercise on top of like doing a degree and shooting, and now I'm struggling to even fit in the exercise. Like I go home and I need to fuel because I've not eaten properly throughout the day if I'm training, but then you need to have a break after you've eaten before you can then exercise. And then suddenly it's like 5 o'clock and you're like, but I haven't exercised yet, but it's nearly dinner time and I don't really like exercising late in the day. I've done it anyway the last week or so. But yeah, it's all just a bit complicated. Damn, there's no parking spaces. Oh wow, there's really no parking spaces. Sheesh. But yeah, I think this last week I've actually felt quite proud of myself actually. Like I managed to do all of my training. I didn't half-ass any of it. I actually did it all, and I did my exercise as well. I only had a couple of appointments, so that kind of helped, but I can't see up the hill. Taxi man. Yeah, and now we're in week 2 of a training block. A nice space right there. And then on Friday I head off to Switzerland for a training camp with the Swiss athletes, which I'm very excited about. Yeah, I really enjoy training, and I think I've been struggling with the fact that I've not really had any training, I suppose. So yeah, I'm enjoying it a bit more now that I'm actually able to train. But yeah, we'll see how long that lasts, I suppose. But anyway, we're at the range now, so I'm gonna leave you here at the moment, and I will catch up with the rest of it later on. Bye! And we're back in the car because I have done a silly, one that I do fairly regularly, to be honest. Although this one's on a slightly different scale. I forgot my padlock keys for my box, so I need to go home and get my padlock keys. It's a bit annoying. I regularly forget my cabinet keys, or semi-regularly, I don't do it that often. But I took my padlock keys off to give to my dad while he was travelling. He gave them back to me. They didn't make it back onto my keychain with my cabinet keys, so they were in the bowl, and I checked for the cabinet keys at least today. But yes, anyway, I digress. yeah, and I was inside the building for like 15 minutes, and I already have a parking ticket, which is just delightful. Constantly get parking tickets at the Pleasance. I did apply for a permit. I didn't realise that there was a notification on the system. I didn't get any like emails or anything. So I didn't get the notification, and then when I went to check like months later, I say months later, it was like a month later, they had accepted my application and they were going to give me a permit, but yeah, the offer had expired. So I applied again and they rejected it. So I need to apply again and see if they'll give me a parking permit. So I don't keep getting tickets and have to keep phoning the poor lady to be like, please can you cancel my tickets? Which again, it just leads back to the last thing of, I feel like I never have any time. It's because I've always got freaking admin to do. And I feel like I'm just complaining about being an adult, but there we go. I'm sure some of you get me. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure where I was, but yeah, it was like first week back at actual training last week, training again this week. Dad's coming down from Inverness today, he's on the train. Hopefully I'll either get back just before him or about the same time as he arrives. And then yeah, we'll get to some air rifle training today and tomorrow, and then some 3P training on Wednesday. I think I've got Thursday off, and then we're off to Switzerland on Friday for that training camp. And then I get back the Sunday following that. And then, yeah, I guess I should probably give you guys a bit of a medical update. Sometimes people ask me why I like share all of this sort of medical stuff, but I don't know, I think it's really good, I suppose, for people to share what they're going through in case other people are going through it too and need a bit of a pep talk or whatever. But yeah, I've talked to you guys about stuff before, but I've got numerous health problems, which I just love. But yeah, I have rheumatoid arthritis. I also have Crohn's disease. And I've got some like musculoskeletal stuff ongoing that is potentially, but not exclusively, related to rheumatoid arthritis. So something I've been dealing with for a while is my jaw. I might have mentioned it already, but I actually can't remember. About this time last year, I started with Invisalign to straighten my teeth, which has worked. I think my teeth are looking pretty good. But around August last year, my jaw started to lock, which is a problem I've had on and off since I was about 10. And it's been locked shut, so I can't really open my mouth very wide. Since August, really. It was on and off for the first couple of weeks, and then it locked, and it's never unlocked. And it used to just happen that it would get locked, and it was a bit annoying because it never opened again. But actually, this time I'm getting an awful lot of pain with it as well. Sort of shooting pains if I yawn too much, or sometimes it just like happens. I get like throbbing pain, shooting pain like down my neck into my shoulder. And up into my like skull and behind my eye, and like sore ear every now and again. So I saw like three different dentists or something. My own dentist. I've seen a previous dentist anyway, but I saw my own dentist who gave me a splint to try and help, but didn't. I saw another dentist who was more of a specialist in jaws. And they gave me another splint, which again didn't help. And then I saw a third dentist that the Scottish Institute sent me to, who's a specialist, who gave me another splint, but she was like, to be honest, I don't think this is going to help. You need to go and see a max-fax surgeon. I'm going to say this wrong, so forgive me, but maxillofacial, I think, is what max-fax stands for. It might be more Latin than that. I saw one of them back in February, I think, end of February. He said, I'm not the guy you need to see my colleague, this guy. He specialises more in like what you're dealing with. I had an MRI in there as well. They MRI'd my jaw. And the second consultant was kind of like, yeah, we can do this procedure. It'll take the swelling down, hopefully, and like we'll wash out the joint. But the discs, the cartilage discs that are in my joints have like slipped forwards, and that's what's limiting opening. He was like, this procedure will almost certainly not help with that. If you want that fixed, you're going to go and see another guy. So that's in the works at the moment for me to be, consultant number 3 for my jaw. Hopefully he'll be able to help. But yeah, at the moment I'm booked in for what they call an arthrocentesis, I believe, which is just where they wash out and stick the steroid injection into the jaw. So that's one thing. Another thing I've been dealing with for a long time is my hip. My right hip has been sore pretty much since like 2018. They MRI'd it back in 2018 because I was getting like hip impingement, and that MRI like didn't show anything. The pain never really went away, it just sort of like came and went a bit. And then I'm pretty sure I tore a hamstring during COVID. I was doing lots of running because I couldn't do anything else. I'm fairly certain I'd like tore a hamstring that's maybe never healed properly or something, I'm not sure. But I started getting like a bit of a different pain, but my hip's been really bad since then. So I kicked up a fuss about it probably last year, and they MRI'd it again, I think in May, possibly March, I can't really remember. I done a lot of MRIs over the last year and a half, yeah, I can't remember what happened when, but yeah, they've MRI'd my hip, and this one did show a cam deformity and a labral tear, to which the doc at the time was like, you probably need surgery for that, but it's a really long recovery, so we'll almost certainly do that after the Olympics. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And then sort of this year I kind of been like, can we speak to I was sort of made aware that I needed to speak to the surgeon to like arrange all of that. So I was kind of like, right, can we arrange that, and can we get me in to see the surgeon, and sort of like get the ball rolling on this so that it's all booked in before I go to the games, like kind of just to take it off my mind. So that kind of got shuffled around a wee bit, and then eventually I think the physios were kind of like, well, you might not need the surgery, we can potentially do like a steroid injection into the hip. It's been really successful in a lot of people. So the team doc phoned me on Friday evening and told me he had an appointment for me with the surgeon on Saturday lunchtime, which was an awesome turnaround. So I've been in to see the hip surgeon. He's going to do the hip injection after I get back from Switzerland. So you'll probably see that in a couple of weeks, I guess. And there's going to be like a heavy rehab block. So I'll vlog all of that. Not the procedure. I'm probably not allowed to do that, and I don't really want to anyway. But the sort of intensive rehab week afterwards, I'll film all of that and let you know how it's going and everything. But yeah, hopefully I'll get like the use of my hip back so I can like start running again, hopefully, is my hope. I've been cycling a lot. I bought a turbo trainer, which I'll show you later, but I've been cycling a lot to try and get some cardio in because I've been feeling very unfit. With this hip, I've not been allowed to do a lot of the stuff that I used to be able to do. Like, I can't really squat at the moment, I can't deadlift for sure. Running is not really going very well. So yeah, just a bit of an all-round struggle. So yeah, that's the sort of two things that are ongoing at the moment. I also have a sort of back shoulder injury, but it's minor compared to the other two, which is kind of funny to me because it's actually quite sore. But yeah, you know, prioritise, we do what we do. But yeah, I guess that's probably a bit of an update. I was really not doing very well February, March time. I don't know if it was like hormonal. I'm always quite quick to kind of be like, oh, it's my hormones. I don't know if it was solely that, or, you know, a bit of the, like I'd said, not getting enough exercise, winter time in general, just being a bit like doom and gloom. Yeah, I was struggling and not particularly happy. not shooting well, yeah, just, you know, not in the best headspace. So I feel like I really wanted to be vlogging and like sharing all of that because I think it's important, but you know, it just when you are in that headspace, I just didn't want to do anything, and I was trying to be kind to myself and give myself some like time to just chill and be at peace. But yeah, no, I feel like I'm back out the other side of that. I feel better now. I feel a bit more motivated. I've got like a form of exercise I can do. There's progress on some of my health things that have been really bugging me and really getting me down. Hopefully this new gun will help and I'll be able to shoot a bit better. 3P training wise is going quite good, so I'm trying not to think too much about like Dortmund and it being bad. I just assume that it was targets that I didn't get right. Yeah, just getting back to a bit of exercise. The days are obviously brighter because we're coming into spring. It's sunny right now, obviously you can see I've got my sunnies on. And yeah, I think it's just, we went off to Mull, one of Grant's cousins got engaged, so we went off to Mull for an engagement party, and it was really just, it was lovely to like see everybody again, do some social things. I've been getting to spend a bit of time with my little niece occasionally. I've been away a lot, so it's quite difficult to kind of like find a time. My parents are in Inverness, my sister's sort of up north, more towards Blairgowrie, but not Blairgowrie, and my grand's in Falkirk. So it's quite tricky, like sometimes to find enough time to go and see all of them, but then also see Grant's family, and just spend some time with Grant and be at home. That's all quite tricky. But yeah, it was nice to go small and see everybody and just, you know, be a bit social for a bit. Yeah, I do. I feel like I'm a bit out the other side. I'm feeling a bit better. I'm feeling more motivated, and yeah. My plan is to do a vlog a week from now until the games. I've planned them out, so I've actually like know what I'm filming for the most part, which is good. So yeah, I will. All right, that's me arrived back at home again. So I will leave you here and go and grab my keys, and then yeah, head back to the range.